gonna jump on that and segue into Kevin, who is a very confident young man. He takes Krystal down to a bed, is fucking demolishing chips and salsa with a full face of food. It's just like, you're the hottest girl on this island, you know that? And then just sticks his salsa tongue right down her throat. Oh, hi, hello, welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Wow.
Back by popular demand. Did you see that?
Was it popular?
The social medias were going crazy. They hated "Put Your Confidence On, Boys."
Well, I'm glad.
Isn't it ironic? Jordan's back, but now I'm going away from it, which was his saying, and I was saying it. Yeah.
Very ironic.
Commitment, though. Comedy
Pat,
is
don't talk yet. You haven't been introduced.
Oh,
No, he's got a solid point. I committed all season, despite I will not be bullied by the fans, but new season, I'm back.
Producer Patrick's behind the glass.
Hi, everybody. This summer's going to be a scorcher.
We are. It's so caliente. We have got just coming up, just countless exciting hours of Bachelor in Paradise to get into. 4 to 5 hours a week, in fact. Which, I don't know if it's too much for you, baby birds, but it's not too much for us.
I think it will be.
It is absolutely.
But after
too much.
episode 1, I was kind of feeling like I could have some more because it was a fun romp.
Great episode.
My cheeks hurt. It was fun.
Hey,
it was fun.
I'm smelling general thoughts right now.
I guess those were my general thoughts. It was a fun romp from start to finish. My cheeks hurt from after. I felt like Garrett.
Pat, general thoughts.
Okay, general thoughts here is there are several people on this island who I have no idea who they are.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing.
Nisha, who are you?
Angela,
who are you?
I have no idea. That's the first thing. The second thing is, all right, and I know I'm going to catch some heat on the social meets by saying this because people go nuts when you say this. Single parents, stay the fuck off this island. I don't want to hear it anymore that you need to put food on your table for the crumb cruncher. Fuck you. We've talked to people, a half a dozen people that have been on this island.
Yeah.
They don't pay you jack shit. I've checked out, Kenny, I looked at your social media. It is not that impressive as far as your followers. You're not selling tummy tea there. You're not feeding that little kid with this being on the show.
Okay, general thoughts for me. I thought the episode was great. Let's get into it.
Wait, couple general thoughts on those general thoughts. Nisha, she was a rosé girl, nurse, went skydiving. I just remember.
That's right. Yeah.
Kenny King, I think if any single parent has an excuse to be on the show, he's got a career that's dependent on like public awareness, being a wrestler. If he has more cachet, he could get in better leagues and shit. Yeah. I think it could definitely help his career.
Yeah.
And his child seemed like a young
She's
independent
amazing.
female.
I love his daughter. She's a wonderful human being. But that's the end of general thoughts on general thoughts. We need to get into this here show. Chris Shitface Harrison says, this is going to be the most dramatic season you've ever witnessed. It's really impressive that they just constantly top themselves. I mean, every time we see one of these, it's the most ever.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little skeptical the drama this season is going to top accusations of rape and production being shut down.
Yeah. But listen, I trust him. He's no snake oil salesman. He's got to be telling us the truth. You know how I know he's a stand-up guy? He's doing manual labor on the beach, prepping the entire set for everybody to arrive. Raking, setting up towels.
16, 17 years in, and he cares just as much as day one.
Yeah, great work ethic. Let's get into the cast. We've got some pre-rolls. Who do you guys want to start with?
Oh, you want me to do a roll call, everybody here?
I was going to comically ask you to do a roll call, but I don't want to hear you yell for that long. But if you have one ready, let's do it.
How about if I just do it like a lower voice?
No, it won't work. Just do your actual roll call. Let's get a roll call.
Roll call! Hit the music! This is who's on the show. Jordan, we know who he is. Kendall, part of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. Angela, who's Angela? I have no idea. Tia, why are you here? Crazy Krystal. Kevin, the Canadian firefighter. Bibiana, who plans to kill the cast until they're bloody. Wills, I need subtitles to hear him talk. Eric, Astrid, she's so super hot. Colton shows up late. Nia, that skinny black chick, I don't know where she's from. Oh yeah, Nick just told me. David, the chicken man who lives with his mommy and yells Meatloaf from the movie Wedding Crashers. Kenny the wrestler. Chelsea, the single mom. Nick, who looks like a Geico lizard. John the Asian, Evil Ben Stiller, who's really thinking of downgrading to a mildly evil Ben Stiller, and Wills.
Not my favorite subtitles, but thank you so much for setting the stage for all those people.
Some fun callbacks in the intros,
some fun
too.
Callbacks. You said, Tia, why are you here? And I was confused about that because it's so apparent why she is.
Yeah, but she's not sure he's coming. And if she really wants to get with Colton, I would argue, just DM him. You don't need to go to this island and hope he shows up.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
It was quick, but is she in a Confederate flag swimsuit? It was a bit much.
Let's start with Kendall, whose name is Kendall. Pat has called her literally every other name. But are you good with it now? Do you have a firm grasp on it?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to move on to Kevin?
Well, just about Kendall, like you mentioned her and then didn't even look over at me to see if I had any thoughts.
Oh, yeah. No. I assumed you had nothing because there was nothing there. But
just that she stated that she mentioned her taxidermy and ukulele, but she kind of stated that she hated being labeled as the weirdo because life has probably been hell for her since last season.
Yeah.
And she's trying to just be a normal blonde.
Good catch.
Good luck.
Yeah. Talking about picnics and cemeteries, but we'll get there.
Exhibit A.
Like we said, Kenny's daughter is a wonderful human being. He is not. Let's get to Kevin. I need to...
He also said the last time we saw him was when he was on his way home, and anybody who leaves the show is on their way home the last time we saw them.
We need to just nip this in the bud. I'll not have anything from you cutting down the perfect comparison that Kevin is Quasimodo, Habang James Marsden. That's it. Okay?
Fine.
Thank you.
I've moved past it.
I almost think it might be just... I'm going to say 70-30 Quasimodo to James Marsden, but I'm with you.
Very bold features on that young man. Krystal. Looked like she was having an orgasm on a stationary bike. She's very, very into fitness. I'm excited to have her.
This season, she is V.F.F.
What's that acronym?
Vocal Fry Free.
Wow.
V.F.F.
That's great. I really, really like that.
There's a number of Bachelor contestants that should strive for V.F.F.
Yes, I'm totally with you. Blake being one of them, but hopefully we never see him again. Chris, Evil Ben Stiller, he's ugly. He's very ugly. He dyes his hair just like Pat. And is also just god-awful at cartwheels. There's nothing redeeming about this guy. He gives me a yucky feeling every time I see him.
Now, in his intro package, he's still on the apology tour, which is smart. We'll get to this whole goose business later, but he says he's a silly little goose. And as we all know, I didn't know this before, but apparently gooses are very genuine.
And I hated that shit because, I'm a silly goose. I hang out with silly gooses. Silly geese, as it were. You, sir, are not a silly goose. You are an uptight, insecure weirdo.
Yeah, you're a Guido, not a goose. Where did this fucking goose thing come from? Where did this come from? And I will agree with you that geese are very genuine, especially when they attack. When I was a young boy, I threw a skipping rock at a goose's head, and sure enough, it hit the goose in the head, which was wrong of me, but
that sounds horrible.
Also very wrong of the goose to turn around and attack me with its heavy wings that feel like punches.
They can be dangerous. But I think this coming out of nowhere is a product of these people hanging out in the off season. They get like inside jokes,
right,
and then they bring them onto their show, and we don't get like an explanation.
Stop. Cut it out.
I don't like it.
Yeah. All right, let's get to David.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Great poll, Pat. Great poll.
Great poll. I mean, he is who we thought he was. Stockbroker, investment banker, my ass.
Venture capitalist.
Well, what's he trying to do with this persona? We all hated him as the chicken man and the whiny bitch, and now he comes on and is playing along with these producers. They must have loved that. Hey, come film me. I'm going to, even if he's not, pretend I'm going to live with my mommy. I'm going to do a reenactment of a scene of a guy who's a complete douchebag.
Yeah.
I also had written down, I cannot believe he would agree to be portrayed like this.
I can believe it because it requires a certain amount of stupidity to agree to portray yourself in the most negative manner possible. But but he's capable of that stupidity. He is that dumb.
He sucks.
He sucks.
And going back to Patrick's great poll, one of the great cameos of our time, and one of the last times I think because of social media that we can ever be surprised by a cameo, Will Ferrell showing up in Wedding Crashers like that. That was just fun.
Chaz.
I had no idea when I went and saw it in theaters real time. It was nostalgic memory.
You know, the film has so many great moments. It's one of the more rewatchable comedies, I'd say, of all time.
As we've discussed, we both fell in love with Rachel McAdams.
Absolutely.
Not those moles on her face. She
Get
makes
outta
a
here,
lot
Patrick.
of money. Have those removed.
I love I love all of her, including even more so her imperfections.
They're not imperfections. They're called beauty marks. Let's move on to Jordan. A little overweight, isn't he, Pat?
Too doughy, I had written down.
Too doughy. And he's doing a little too much with blazing up those highlights on that hair. He's looking gayer than ever.
He says in his pre-roll that like he is really excited to meet Annalise, which is confusing because everything about her is unbecoming. She's scared of everything. She has a weak jaw, and she's just generally bad.
Would you like a roll call on what scares her?
Yeah.
Roll call on what scares the hell out of Annalise. Total weirdo. Okay, here we go. Red hair, or people with red hair, sombreros, dogs, all plastics of any form, large bodies of water, and bumper cars.
Plastics of any form?
Class 1 recycled plastic specifically.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
And going back very quickly to Jordan, he put a rubber chicken to symbolize David into the oven. And I'm telling you, if you do that, it would stink up the kitchen like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And when they transitioned from Jordan to Annalise, it was another funny little quip by ABC because he finished saying he was excited to see Annalise because she's just a ray of sunshine, and then it smash cut to her crying next to a bumper car.
The producers did a great job this entire episode. It was just a strong showing from them.
I may wonder if it's different producers because they have different teams. You know, they know how to have fun with this.
Yeah, the puppet masters are doing wonderful things.
Also called Svengalis. You guys have a better grasp of the English language than I do, but yeah, I would, for brevity's sake, I would say Svengalis.
For brevity's sake, we should say Svengalis.
Mm-hmm. That's a puppet master.
Do we want to talk about Bibiana? No.
She came out caliente.
She's just going to be Bibiana. She's a caricature of a crazy Latin woman that's horny.
Rosie Perez. Wills. Do we need to talk about Wills?
I can't stand him.
Yeah.
His name, he didn't have a lot of camera time on this episode. I'm sure there's going to be some. Maybe he'll
He's
get
dull.
Will's the Weasel.
He does seem a little bit Weasley this episode, but he did just try to express how he is a lot more outgoing than what they showed in the least flamboyant way possible. Like,
How's that?
Just he's very, like you said, he's dull, and he tried to say he's not dull by wearing loud shirts.
Yeah.
No, you are how you were portrayed. Right.
Yeah. Honest portrayal because no one can hear you when you talk. You're monotone, inside and out.
By the way, I want you to watch this, and the baby birdies, watch an episode. Whenever there's a shot and Will's not really involved in the dialogue, he's always rubbing up in the background against one of the hoochie mamas there. He's sliding in.
One of the hoochie mamas, you say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about Tia? I do. They have these selfies of them, right? Like in the pre-roll, in Tia's pre-roll, there are Colton and Tia selfies.
Oh, yeah.
What this mysterious weekend date is so confusing to me. It's just like they walked rescue dogs. It seems like they've been spending months with each other.
I want to say on the show they portrayed their relationship as essentially a one date type of thing. I don't know if they ever mentioned a weekend. This is what I consider the lost weekend because during those pictures of that of the photographs that they had showed, they were wearing different clothes. I caught that. So there's different days, different times of day, night, day. They had something else going on.
Yeah, it feels like we're being fibbed to.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's always a hierarchy I've noticed with these Bachelor Nation
what?
people. A hierarchy? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
A hierarchy?
There you go.
It's glowingly apparent that Tia is the top dog in this group. And like very much like Raven was last season, like you need to talk to her almost like a mob boss to get things done.
Yeah.
And if you notice the whole episode, here's a thought. If we played a drinking game and you had to drink every time the word Colton was said, we'd all die of fucking alcohol poisoning.
I have this noted later, but I was just like, please, Colton, show up because I don't want to hear you talk about Colton anymore.
That was the only, getting ahead of ourselves.
Getting ahead of
Sorry.
ourselves.
No.
It happens. It's an
What you guys said
occupational
was
hazard.
good. If I would have continued with it, that would have been getting ahead of ourselves.
That's great
And I'm
hosting.
sorry.
Nice.
All right. Who's the first to arrive?
The
Dawn herself, Tia. She walks onto the beach, and I have to say, this resort they're staying at in Nahuelita Sultan, Mexico, stunning.
Too many crabs.
Oh, we're gonna get the what do they call that shot where it's just
The B-roll.
the B-roll, tons of B-roll.
God, it's so funky that they walk sideways. It spooks me out. All right, Eric is second on the beach. And it was weird. Tia was really excited to see the next person. And then I swear to God, I don't know if you guys caught this, but I thought I heard her say, "Oh, shucks a black." Did you hear that?
I don't know if that was her talking or her swimsuit with the Confederate flag.
I'll say this: as you know, I am a footman, but black men are notorious for being footmen, and Eric is no exception.
How do you know that?
Multiple times he comments on her feet. He says, "You got nice feet," and then as she's having a conversation with someone else, he says, "I like the polish on your toes."
Yeah, I guess that would be pretty strong evidence that
But,
he's a footman.
I want to say this. I want to put this. Go on record as saying this. I am a footman, but I do not suck toes. So any of you baby birds that are wondering that, I wanted to clear that up. Mm-hmm.
Which I found just a very interesting, like,
Idiosyncrasy?
yeah, like you would. I always assumed one followed the other, but it's more feet worship with Pat rather
Correct.
than actual physical touch.
Right, I was going to ask if you do love feet, but you don't suck toes, what are they for? For you.
I just think they're a work of art, especially when they're in heels, preferably wedges.
Okay. You know who I bet dons a lot of wedges? Bibiana.
For sure. Good
Yeah.
transition. Great hosting.
Thank you.
And a great rack.
Okay. Yeah.
No doubt.
Jordan says Bibiana's name, just saying it makes my mouth water. I agree. Bibiana is absolutely hot.
Do you think as a young child,
Yeah.
every time he got a treat, someone said Bibiana, and maybe that is what's triggering this response?
No. No, that wouldn't make a ton of sense, but it's hilarious hypothetical.
It'd be quite the coincidence, I will say. I will say that.
You know who's apparently very hot? Joe the grocer. To me, he looks decades older than his actual age.
It was probably a rough flight or something. I don't know. He looked way better on the Men Tell All.
Yeah, you went kind of into
America did.
pretty great detail. on-
America did, Dylan. America did. But let me say this, and probably getting a little ahead of myself. You guys had argued with me that he would not make a good bachelor on the account he's a big dummy. Boy, he spent a lot of time on this island and this episode proving both of you correct.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going to go with that because the only end to that road was we're right.
I was almost going to retract my statement.
No way.
First off, his name now is Joe the Hoe because he's working that whole island up and
Like
down.
it. Like you have such a knack for nicknaming.
You know who else does? Donald Trump, and you hate him.
Why do you have to bring up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I cut out you saying you voted for him because I feel like just people don't get it. It triggers people. You just can't.
Oh, come on. Leave that in. I wrote in Bernie Sanders. Okay. Let's talk about Joe. He's kind of already in that, like, what are you going to do mode. He just.
I'm back.
He gets to the beach, and apparently he's crushing it with the ladies, but he doesn't talk much at all.
Well, he's kind of self-deprecating.
Yeah, he really.
He's like, I fucked up. I couldn't talk when I got out of the limo. And then when I talked to Becca, I couldn't talk then either. And pretty much I can't talk now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what there is about him that all the ladies are loving so much.
He's just. He seemed like he was tall and he has a nice smile. Sometimes that's all it takes.
I guess that's it.
And say few words. The fewer words, the better, Joe.
You know what? That maybe he's playing the game well that way. Although I don't think he's playing a game. I think he's probably just really stupid.
Yeah, no, he just has a lack of vocabulary. All right. I do as well sometimes. Chelsea walks onto the beach. Pat, we've got a single mother.
Yes, we do, sir.
She says, I don't know how I ended up here. I do. You begged. You pleaded. You said your daughter was going to die if you didn't make it to this island. That's exactly how you got here.
I do think she possibly got implants as well.
On the boobs?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
She's a very modest dresser. I didn't see that. She's a very modest
yeah.
dresser. I didn't
They look
see
bigger,
that.
though.
Guys, if you remember from her season with Ari, they were lining her up to be the villain in the first 3 episodes, and then she got sidelined, and Crazy Krystal came in and just took all her thunder.
Oh, yeah. No, you're not going to be the villain when Krystal's around. But let's not get to her just yet. What's the over-under on Chelsea? I feel like there's no way she's going to be here next week.
Oh, she's gone next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just, there's never going to be any connection. I mean,
There's some desperate guys, though. I don't know.
And she's fairly desperate. So, and what is the over-under? I'd put it at next week. You think she's going to make it?
I don't really know the structure of this show, but I say we'll see her for she'll make both episodes next week.
Okay.
I'll say this. All right, so just watching the package at the end of the show that showed next week, I think that skinny Nisha black chick who we have no idea who she is, I think she's going to be the first to be gone.
Yeah, well, Nick told us she's a rosé girl.
She's a rosé girl and a nurse, and she skydived for her 30th birthday.
Okay, let's talk about picnics in cemeteries. Joe and Kendall sit down. There are a couple pros to picnicking in a cemetery. 1, great parking. 2, there's no one there, except quote unquote dead people. I would say that there aren't often a lot of people at cemeteries, but the people that are there to pay respects, and I'm sure they are not a huge fan of seeing some quirky little girl eating lunch on top of their grandfather. I feel like this was forced. Like, why do you say shit like this, Kendall? It's fucking weird.
I think she's genuine. I knew a girl like this in college, and she's just like a free spirit, likes to do fun stuff that some of us may judge her on, and I am judging her. I think she's a total weirdo. And let me pile on here a little bit more. She's really annoying, not attractive, and she spends this entire episode trying to hook up with every guy. And I wouldn't have seen that one coming, but
I don't know about that,
we got a
Pat.
little, as I said, she's one of those hoochie mamas on the island, as far as I'm concerned.
Hoochie Mama. What's that song? Hoochie
No
Mama?
idea.
There's a song.
Absolutely no idea.
Pat knows it.
But if Pat, don't go to the computer and
Go
play
to the
that
computer
song.
and
Do
play
not
that
go to
song.
the computer and play that
I
song.
wanna hear it.
It is so strange that if you do say she's trying to kind of shed that reputation of being a quirky girl who holds up the skulls of bulls and stares into their eyes and loves stuffing dead animals and eats picnics on top of dead bodies, she's not doing a great job. Joe is completely fine with everything she's saying because he is, as the Brits would say, thick.
I think he thinks she's a weirdo.
Yeah, maybe, even for Joe. But he did seem pretty fascinated by the notion of a picnic. I've never done one of those.
I think it was just early on. It was the first girl he sat down with, and once he realizes he's got a couple of them under his thumb, Kendall will fall to the wayside. Although he did say he's in love with her in promo, so I'm way wrong.
All right, Krystal arrives. Tia says that if she sees Krystal on this island, she's going to dig a hole, crawl into it, and die.
And then she doesn't.
And then her bluff is called immediately because Krystal walks down onto the beach. Now, V.F.F. Tia makes mention of it. The vocal fry's gone.
Vocal fry free.
What is this? Like, I think it was talked about on the Women Tell All episode of Ari's season.
Yeah, her voice was gone for 8 weeks, she said, was her reason. How the hell am I supposed to make a video that's going to go viral when you talk like a normal person?
That's a good point. And if you haven't seen that video, please do check it out. It's somewhere online. Nick made a great cut with Dumb and Dumber, Garrett's favorite film. Okay. Joe and Krystal sit down and just have the most intellectually stimulating conversation I've ever heard. This is electric stuff. Pat, can you play the clip?
Oh, I have a clip. Here we go.
Krystal, she's got one of those smiles that kind of light up the room. I'm attracted to her, for sure. She seems very nice, very cool, very smart. Smarter than me, but I think I need that.
What's your background?
Italian.
I was
I'm-
literally just gonna ask.
I'm 25% Norwegian, which is a little different.
I'm Norwegian. I'm like all Scandinavian.
Really? It's cool. It's good. I like it.
I really enjoy talking to Joe because he just seems very down to earth.
When you ask somebody what their background is, does that immediately mean like like family lineage? Is that what you would think if somebody asked you your background?
I think, yeah, it was kind of in
You
probably
think so?
yeah, especially in the context of their thing. There was a lot of fun stuff there. One thing that he said was like, I think she's a lot smarter than me, which I need. Yeah, that's because if she was any dumber than you, you guys wouldn't be able to function as a couple.
You'd stare at each other.
And both starve.
Someone would have to make food or get it. I don't know.
Provide.
Guys, I really, this so disappointed me. Grosser Joe, I wanted to come in here, watch this episode, and fight for this guy being the Bachelor, and he disappointed me.
Oh, no, there's no way.
No way. He couldn't stand up. He'd have to have a fucking ear butt in his, what do you call those? A lob in his fucking ear.
I don't even think that would work.
Feeding him lines.
They'd be like, tell her that you love her.
Wait, what? Don't say what? Oh, I won't.
I love you.
Oh, what a disappointment.
All right. After this conversation, a bunch of bums walk in.
Asian John, Canadian Kevin, Nick the Geico lizard.
With the exception of John, I kind of like John. He's not quite a bum, but, you know, in this game of hot people in love, I mean, he's definitely on the bottom of the totem pole. But we've got Nick, Nisha, and Astrid. I know that you think Astrid is wonderful, but, I mean,
oh, no,
she's a nothing burger.
No, she's something great to look at, but she's a complete bitch.
Whoa.
I'm sorry to say it, but she is. She spends the whole time on the island backstabbing Colton and scheming to get him out of there.
She was kind of telling like it is, but yeah, I mean, focus on you. Well, like
You do you, I'll do me. Okay?
M-E-H.
John, when he came in though, seemed to get like wasted immediately. he was like, there are some fine looking ladies on this beach, and I kind of like it. Like,
I wish John would just go have a fucking real career. Like, just go away. You're too smart for this. Go, you know.
Also,
make money.
isn't he some kind of tech mogul? Like,
Yeah.
lead with Snapchat, dude.
I don't know
Not
about
imitating
mogul,
black
but-
guys or something. I will say this. I don't like to propagate racial stereotypes, but the Asians, they drink the sauce. It poisons them faster than us white people.
That's true. You'll notice you can tell when John's a little messed up because they also get the rosy red cheeks. And when Nick showed up, the Geico lizard or Rango,
Right.
whatever lizard you want to compare this man to, all the guys seemed to really like this dude. They were broing out hard. They were like, Nicky Slick, and they all flipped out. Even when Colton showed up later, first person he said hi to was
Nicky!
Nick. Yeah.
And by the way, little lizard, what did he do while Colton was on that date? He was backstabbing
I
Colton.
know. Like, I think Colton was like Nicky Slick, and then Colton's like, this guy's we got to get this guy out of here.
man.
Yeah, he's a fame chaser.
He's a fame chaser. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Sorry. All right, another bum that walks onto the beach, who's probably not a bum. I feel like she's getting plenty of attention because she looks like a prostitute. I'm sorry. Angela looks like a stripper.
Hey, Dylan.
She looks like she works at the Bunny Ranch.
Who's Angela? America. Baby birdies.
Yeah.
Who's Angela?
Baby birds, please just give us some context clues or just tell us exactly who she is because none of us have any fucking idea.
Dylan, I think you were getting at is she looks like a whore.
Yeah, I think I think I
they're
did
synonymous.
get at that. Yeah.
Synonymous.
Too much makeup, bad hair.
Prostitute and synonymous, or prostitute and horror synonymous? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not sure. There's a chance Angela is one of the first 7 that got kicked off on Nick's season, but she didn't get invited to the Rosé Girls because of some argument that happened on the bus, if you will recall.
Are you serious right now?
It's just that's off the top of my head.
So when I said none of us have any idea who this person is, that wasn't right.
I mean, I could be making it up, but I have a sense.
It is incredible to see this young Padawan blossom under your apprenticeship, Pat. He loves this franchise. You're not the only detailed mother effer. All right, David hits the beach.
Chicken Man.
David should be thanking his fucking lucky stars that Jordan is a player in this game. Without Jordan, David would have committed suicide already.
Are you doing like he wouldn't exist if Jordan wasn't in his world? Almost like Unbreakable, where you have the Glass Man and the Bruce Willis character. Like they both need to exist in order for the world to be balanced.
Yeah, I was watching that movie recently, and I was like, M. Night Shyamalan, man, where's the twist? And then I got it at the end. Great movie.
Always a twist in his movies.
Are you excited for that crossover between
Glass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Not this podcast.
Okay, so should we get back?
Oh, sorry.
I'm not really that excited either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's completely useless without Jordan. And Jordan, what's the quote?
Who's completely useless?
David is completely useless without Jordan. Jordan's quote was, my biggest strength is being me. Your biggest strength is not being you, which is why you have to talk about me.
Very well said. More passion, though.
Right. Yeah, I can't get that fired up. Pat, do you have thoughts?
Well, I was really hoping that these two morons would squash this beef early on because I can't stand them any more camera time of those two fighting over nothing. And I did appreciate how Chicken Man walked across the beach to attempt to shake Jordan's hand and put an end to this nonsense.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to get Nick riled up here because I'm going to call this Handshake Gate. Why is this a problem? Why? Everyone's like, oh, my God. He just went over and shook his hand. They did interviews with 5 people about this handshake.
Why do you think I'm going to get riled up?
Because you hate the broken terminology of blank gate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, totally. I thought you meant the handshake itself. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah.
It would be called handshake.
Or handshake controversy.
Yeah. That would be good, too. But also, it was good that he tried to squash it, but he did it in such David awkward fashion. He just shook his hand and scurried away. He's such a weirdo.
Yeah. We got to talk about their digs. You want to get into their digs?
What they're wearing?
No. Their housing. We've heard stories of flooded floors and hot, sticky rooms, but I mean, this looks fine to me.
Yeah, it looks fine. I wonder how the accommodations are. It seems like multiple people sleep in the same room, very much like college dorm style.
Yeah.
Yet a bunch of people are fucking each other eventually. Do you have the fuck room off to the side, or how's that work?
Bang away on a bunk, be it top or bottom. And if you're on top, if it's ruthless stuff, I fear for the lives of the people underneath them.
In one promo, I did hear someone say the boom boom room or something. In Jersey Shore, it was famously called the smush room. But I wouldn't doubt there is a dedicated spot. And at night, you could definitely go out on one of those outside day beds.
Get sand in your pussy.
Fair. I feel like it might even be in the digs.
10 guys, 9 girls. I don't know if you guys caught this, but there's one more guy than there are girls.
Oh, that's the way this game's played, Dylan?
That's the way it's played. The girls, you're safe. The guys, none of you are. We've got to get into the beginning stages of the elimination, but first, let's take a short break to talk about some iTunes ratings and reviews. Hey, Pat.
Yes, Dylan.
What's going on, man?
Oh, dude, I'm having a great week. Everything's going great. I like BIP, and also I got good news with the iTunes reviews.
What is it?
Well, first off, the baby birdies, again, have come through. We have exceeded the number of reviews, my expectations for the reviews that we were going to get.
Did you get any bikini shots?
No, and I'm a little upset by that. Again, let me just send that out there.
It's almost as if it's not worth the $3.40 that you're offering in return.
I think it's well worth $3.40. Again, send in a shot of you in a bathing suit or bikini, and this includes dudes, and your name, your phone number, a place to find you, and I will send you $3.40.
A place to find you. Very ambiguous.
All right, Can I get to this, dude?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so we got a lot of reviews. I'm not going to read them all, but I do have to give a shout out, and it's going to be really quick because I know people think this is boring when I just say people's names, but here we go. Susan E, Keek0516, Katie June 3, APB Birdie, My Name is Susie, Lopo Go Paco, Roxy AM, JDE44, Seshman, Katie Marie 96, Fit Cali Chicken, Caitlin 0007. Thank you for your reviews.
Yeah. We're only gonna get bigger and bigger, and Pat's got to stop doing this eventually, right?
Unless he really ups his cardio and he's able to hold his breath for longer amounts of time.
Okay, so there was one review of note, which I'm going to kind of read. I'll paraphrase, or let me read it. Best podcast out there by Katie June 3. 5 stars. 5 stars. Remember, only 5s or 1s. We don't accept 2, 3s, or 4s. She says, no clue how I stumbled upon this podcast, but it's the only reason I still watch this shit show. A lot of people say that about this. We keep people. ABC should be paying us.
It warms our heart to hear you guys say that.
She says she likes how we dissect the shady characters and the questionable one-liners.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. And this is why she subjects herself to this trash. Kudos on making me laugh every week. Smiley face. ... Assuming it's posted on a weekly basis.
Okay. Thank you to whoever wrote that review.
Katie June.
We love you. But don't end a glowing review with ellipses and shade. Don't do that.
I didn't like that shade,
Don't
bitch.
do that. Don't do that. We love you so much. But get the fuck out of our ratings and reviews. But that?
Whoa, we're playing the Pat role right now.
Hey, this is my lane. Katie, I liked everything you said until that part where you became a complete bitch. But keep it up. Thank you.
How many stars?
5 stars.
Thanks.
Guys, thank you so much. Honestly, we do it for you. Let's get back to the episode.
I do it for validation.
Okay, date card. It's floating around. Who gets it?
Tia.
Brilliant move on the producer's part.
Yep.
Right before Colton gets there,
Textbook.
give her a shot to have a conundrum. Give her one chance to maybe have something with a guy. Crazy that she picked Evil Ben Stiller because, as I said again, he's ugly. He's gotten so much more Jersey douchebag than I didn't think that he could super say in that kind of mode, but he absolutely has.
Yeah, he's pretty gross, and I was shocked at the pick. I wonder if that was a producer move. I will say, well, she had to pick somebody. And it's so annoying that I love the episode, but the most annoying part was Tia spending an infinite amount of time talking about how she doesn't want to be here for anybody else. And I say the logical move would have been to not come on the island, direct message Colton, right? And say, hey, let's go grab lunch. We could have cleared up all this.
The whole thing reeks of what I don't know.
It's almost like Star Wars. The Empire could have killed this whole rebellion thing just by firing at that pod that R2-D2 and 3PO escaped from, because the plans for the end of the Death Star was in there, and they chose not to destroy it. Thus, well, we got 8 more movies.
Thank God for that. Well, maybe not. Some of them are good. Some of them are just not. Hey, let's talk about Joe and Kendall again. Krystal thinks that, their conversation was substantive enough to see them progress. But he picked the girl who likes picnicking in cemeteries, and Krystal is devastated.
We got a funny montage of her just being flabbergasted and eating food after she got burned by Joe.
I'm going to jump on that and segue into Kevin, who is a very confident young man. He takes Krystal down to a bed, is fucking demolishing chips and salsa with a full face of food. Is just like, you're the hottest girl on this island, you know that? And then just sticks his salsa tongue right down her throat.
Yeah, that was alpha as shit. But it was weird because he said the reason he was like attracted to Krystal earlier was that he thinks she could kick his ass. Mm-hmm. So even though he just like dominated that situation, I think if they really get in the bedroom, I think Kevin might like to be his world rocked by Krystal.
You mean like donkey punched?
Yeah. What isn't
Pat?
We have different definitions of that, I think.
Hey, to digress for a second with Kevin, in his opening package, we kind of glossed over this. He threw Ashley I, the crier, under the bus. Did you catch this?
Yes.
It was widely reported that he dumped her ass because obviously she's super annoying. But what he says in his package is he got dumped because she was cheating on him with that little rat, Jared.
Yeah, it's so crazy how little I care.
Dylan often wants to talk about my face when I say stuff. He was looking longingly off in the distance, wishing he was somewhere else.
I glazed over a little bit, but let's get back to the donkey punch. What do you think it is? Because it is only having sex with somebody from behind and hitting them in the back of the head and the brainstem.
I thought it was
Haven't you seen that movie?
having sex with a girl from behind and then punching her in the lower back so her butt, she clenches.
All right, we're gonna have to.
No, gentlemen. I think I know the answer. It's when you're doing a chick doggy style and you lean down into her ear and whisper, and then she tries to get you off.
I'm gonna cut that. Or not. I'll leave it in. Okay. Let's get to Slick Nicky, huh?
Slick Nick.
Shit-faced. Shit-faced. And also he has steroid tits. It looks like he has these little water balloons on his chest. I mean, it's, coming from somebody who's ashamed of his body, I shouldn't be saying that, but it was just crazy.
We're talking when he was with
Chelsea.
Him and Chelsea, yes. He's just like, you're fucking cool. Just with his lizard eyes glazed over.
He came off like a complete scumbag. This guy had 0 camera time on Becca's season, so you don't know what to make of the guy. He's kind of quiet, whatever. He looks a little goofy.
I liked him before tonight.
And I wonder, okay, this is what I'm going to say to the baby birds, the females out there. This is half the male population in their 20s. They're all scumbags. Mm-hmm. This guy's
This was certainly you in your 20s.
I was never me. Never me. I was never this bad. Although I will give him a pass, he was wasted. Hopefully he's not that much of a jerk.
He's fucking wasted with his breasts exposed, calling women snacks. It's just gross behavior from Slick Nick.
And then completely unaware that she totally thinks he's gross. He's like, hey, you want to kiss? Intoxicated piece of white trash.
Yeah, and she's like almost asleep.
Have we learned nothing?
She's almost asleep.
Because of Corinne.
Got it.
You didn't.
No, I didn't. I was like, that probably makes sense.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, guys, would you like a updated roll call? Because there's a lot happening on this episode. People are starting to connect with each other. You want a roll call?
No, but go ahead.
Update on relationships. Roll call! Right at this point, Asian John and Annalise starting to hook up. Joe the Ho and Kendall start making waves. Chicken Man and Angela. Again, who is Angela? And then Kevin the Canadian, Crazy Krystal are making out. So we got 4 love matches coming together.
But you forgot a 5th. Tia and Evil Ben are out on their one-on-one. Now, akin to Krystal and Joe, they have another fascinating conversation. Chris, Evil Ben, says no less than 500 times. I think we've got a clip, do we not?
I definitely agree, 100%. And I'm, in the same boat. I've had my fun in my 20s.
Right.
And, now I'm in a point now where I know what I want.
Yep.
And, I have, everything in my life except, that one void. And that one void is, a special partner to, share my life with.
Could not have said it any better.
I don't know what conversation was more stupid.
And Tia, you definitely could have said that better. Besides all of the likes, the fact that he said the only thing that was missing in his life was a void, which is, and that void is someone to love him. That means you have someone to love you if you really play that out.
I think he just thinks a void means wife.
I like at the start though, it's really insulting, and he goes, I came here and normally these people I wouldn't give them the time of day or something. It's like, do you mean that to be insulting? He's like, no, I didn't mean that at all.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, so this whole that was basically their conversation.
Yeah.
And somehow within 30 minutes at dinner,
who's Colton? Who the hell is Colton?
I think in the moment or whatever, off camera, when you just hear overdub, she says something like, Evil Ben Stiller has taught me, renewed my faith in relationships or something. You don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting, apparently, these days on this show to, I guess, change a girl's heart.
Well, love's that powerful and that visceral.
And so is the connection between Tia's want and thirst for fame and the production's hold.
Got it.
an understanding of that wanton thirst.
You're 100% correct. They have a lovely kiss underneath fireworks, and we've gotta move on. Pat, is that the Colton cloud?
Oh, Dill. What else would it be? It's rain and thunder, dude.
Colton walks down to the beach, says, "Hello, now no more clouds."
But Colton's here.
Pat, turn the clouds off. He says hi to Chris, and again, brilliant producerial move. Here's your date card. Go make a mistake.
A second mistake. His first was wearing that blue shirt that showed those sweat stains.
I was thinking, like, do they care about the sweat stains? Like, do they all, like, understand that it's hot, so what, he's sweating? But
There's many shirts you could wear that would not show that so blatantly.
I agree with you. So, he gets the date card, says that he's anxious, says that he's nervous, says that he's a virgin or something, and then pulls what? Kendall away first?
Power move. You always pull the ugliest girl there. It makes you look like a nice guy.
She is not the ugliest girl there, and this is
Name
not...
an uglier one. Name an uglier one.
Yeah.
Annalise.
I think Annalise is prettier.
It's close tie, maybe.
I think Kendall's really pretty. This is not a power move. This is a dumb move. What are you This is so stupid.
He's infallible.
No, he's not infallible.
Dylan,
this makes him look like such an idiot.
No, when you go on the island, you're supposed to project to everybody that you're not just there for the one person. This has all been hyped up, the Tia Colton show.
You know
and
what?
he's got to set the stage for, hey, guys, I'm open to love.
I guess you guys could be right. And here's a hot take. Could this be him presenting the Colton that is open to lots of different ladies, which is a required trait of somebody who's going to be the Bachelor?
I will just say that I agree that it was a bad move in terms of the popularity vote, but in terms of like his relationship with Tia and hooking up with another girl, it doesn't matter. He's the hottest commodity on this island. It was Kevin until he shows up.
I don't know. I think he could have taken Tia aside, talked to her, and then done, fine navigating through the rest of the ladies.
Dylan, this guy I think is a little bit more cunning than you give him credit for. He's
don't
here to
think
put
so.
on a show, and the show is I got to be here for a couple weeks, got to get my presence known, got to come out of here squeaky clean, hurt, heartbroken. We saw him in the trailer, getting ahead of myself for next week. He cries. I bet he's here for 3 weeks, and he leaves, and he says, I had a good showing. If you look at the editing for this entire episode, it is all about presenting this guy as the Bachelor. From all the GoPro shots of him on the ski-doos, looking good.
Yeah.
The only thing I hate is a man crying. You should never cry unless your mother dies or your dog spot. Other than that, there's no tears.
You can't cry if the dog's named anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got personal. That was my dog.
Got it. Very sad.
Both of those options would have worked for Colton. My point is he's infallible. When he pulled Kendall aside, it was such a fuckboy move. I thought at this moment he was going to unzip his suit and Dean would walk out.
No, Dean is not here, and I'm so thankful for that. You know who is here? Jordan, and I'm so thankful for that. And he has the line of the night. Colton shows up, and to evil Ben Stiller, this is his Vietnam. So funny.
And just really elaborate with sound effects.
The Foley.
Characters.
Apache helicopters.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost wanted to have a clip of that so we could work our way through the mind. Remember that horrible comedy show, The Mind of Mencia? No, The Mind of Jordan.
Yeah.
Let's work us through your process.
Yeah, it was as if he just recently watched the opening scene of Apocalypse Now.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Is that the same movie?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Smells like victory.
Teen Spirit.
Victory.
God, Robert Duvall is so fucking good in that movie.
And in Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell.
I literally just watched that movie the other day. It's so not funny.
It's horrible.
It's so bad, but it has moments that are truly wonderful. All right, Tia and Colton. He talks to a couple other girls, Angela being one of them, and we get to peel back the curtain on that laugh, which is it's just a brutal laugh.
And can I say something? Again, I don't want to get beat up online here for these thoughts that I have.
We've already called her a prostitute, stripper, and whore, so I don't know if we can do much worse, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, she says when she's talking to Colton, hey, I just want you to know, I'm not one of these chicks that are filled with drama. I'm not a drama queen here. I know from personal experience, whenever a girl does this, she's a complete psychopath.
She might as well have been like, I'm not one of those drama queens, but if you don't pick me, I'll kill myself.
Very dramatic. Ultimately,
but Colton really did string her along during this conversation.
Angela?
Yeah.
Or Angelica, whatever the fuck her name is?
Yeah, just taunting her with this date. It was, again, very Dean-esque.
Yeah, Colton is kind of a fuckboy. Anyways.
Who doesn't fuck?
Very
nice.
ironic. Yeah.
Astute.
He's I'm not going to try and come up with a name. That's Pat's job. Anyways,
He's a boy.
Okay, he ultimately does pick Tia. They go on a date, and they again talk about this mysterious weekend, I think. Still very confused about what happened, and I don't think it was 48 hours. They never talked to one another after that. The whole thing is just bizarre.
How did they meet? Do we ever get the background? How did they meet? And so why did you stop talking when he was going to be on the show? Did he tell you he was going to be on the show when you guys met that weekend?
They don't talk about any of that stuff. They just dance around it and say how awesome it was to get bit by dogs.
If you notice on their date, I got sick of hearing Colton. We all got sick of hearing the word Colton and people talking about Colton. Mm-hmm. And what do these two idiots do while Colton and Tia are on a date? They talk about their last date.
Right.
Jesus Christ, I got an ass load of fucking Colton and Tia.
And yeah, and then in another Machiavellian move, he says, "You're gonna need to work for this."
Let's hear the clip.
Pat, play that clip.
You see this as being like something that could happen again. Because something is keeping me interested in you. Like something is drawing me to you, and I don't know how to handle it.
I don't know. I obviously want to explore this because I wouldn't have wasted a card if I didn't want to. I don't want you to think, though, like it's just going to be so easy. Like, I don't...
No, it's not.
I have to be fair to you. I have to be fair to myself. Like, I'm not closing the door on us. Like, I'm here to figure my out.
Yeah.
I really am. And that also includes you.
I have thoughts. Can I say this? All right, so the bulk of his argument, yeah, we're going to try this, but it ain't going to be easy. Dare I say, being on an island, not having to pay for shit, partying, drinking, eating, is pretty much, it's not going to get any easier than this.
And if you look like Colton, if you're a white man that looks like Colton, that's the definition of an easy life.
And cisgendered, you bitch, Colton. I hate all white cisgendered
I
men.
hate cisgendered men so much. They insist upon themselves. Okay, while they're on this date, the Goose Gang. Where the fuck did this come from? Why are they called that? But they're very upset. Jordan says, when Colton comes back, we're going to kill him.
I know they're I know they're very quick back to back, but why don't we hit us with a clip?
So Colton is about to get attacked by the Goose Gang.
So he's a fame chaser. Yeah, Colton's chasing the fame. Finally, we get to crush this guy. This is a serious moment for us. Dude, shut this guy down.
We've been bombarded with this whole Tia situation.
We're gonna kill him. if he comes at you with some he's got to deal with the whole jungle.
Can I tell you what image I was conjuring up in my head while hearing this?
Bombarded.
Can I tell you the image I was conjuring up as I was hearing these dummies talk?
Yeah.
Going to a zoo and seeing monkeys throw poop at each other. That's how stupid they sound.
You know, and we might be going back to back clips because, Nick, this reminded you of something, right?
Yeah, but don't play it quite yet. A little background. It conjured up images of me of the Disney animated classic Beauty and the Beast, when Gaston was rabble-rousing the townspeople into going after the Beast. So I really, to have a highly produced show, I wanted to go and find the clip.
That's what we're about.
So I went to go rent it on YouTube, and in my haste, I accidentally rented 2017's live-action Beauty and the Beast, starring Emma Watson.
And Josh Gad. You're leaving out Josh Gad.
Who is there anybody else that could have played LeFou?
Is that his name?
I'm not sure, actually.
Anyways, go ahead.
So to continue my journey, I went to spend another $2.99 and rent. I did only pay for standard definition, but rent the Disney animated classic, Beauty and the Beast. But it turns out the Disney Vault, their selections are $12.99 to rent on YouTube. Didn't want to spend that money.
The mouse is a tyrant.
So here we have it, the
live action.
The live action version.
Look at this beast. Look at his fangs! His claws! This creature will curse us all if we don't stop it! Well, I say we kill the beast!
Dead on.
Dead on.
Colton being the Beast, of course. And I would say Jordan is the Gaston in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone's piling on this couple. I would say if you're playing the game correctly, you want Colton tied up with Tia.
Yes, you do.
Don't you? I mean, they're kind of going against the strategy of the game.
Why
to win.
does Gaston want the Beast dead? Because he's intimidated by him. His size and the beauty that's underneath that fur.
And they're kind of making him a redeemable figure because, like...
Chris?
No, Colton.
Oh.
By just, like, being so aggro about his presence, just let him be an asshole and expose himself.
All the guys are riled up with pitchforks, ready to go attack this guy, and Colton comes from, like, the background and puts his hand on, like, Jordan's shoulder and is like, hey, how you doing?
Jordan's like, hey, what's up, man? We're going to kill him.
Yeah, imagine if the Beast would have shown up behind Gaston.
Yeah, Gaston wouldn't have done shit.
He would have shit his pants.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for us. That's the end of the episode. Quite the cliffhanger. Are they going to kill Colton next week? We just don't know.
I'm more excited for the rose ceremony. If he dies, he dies.
I'm more excited to see that long-haired fucking douchebag drunk Leo.
Yeah, Leo's going to really tarnish his cachet throughout this season. But we're going to get into all of that because, again, we've got 4 hours next week. And we will be here in your ears recapping the entire thing. That's it for us. Please join us on Facebook. Again, the baby birds are there and they are chirping. Nick, where do people go for that Facebook group?
Facebook.com/group/Another Bachelor Podcast.
And then our Instagram is
@Another Bachelor Podcast.
And then also jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews.
Apple Podcasts. Let's make that switch right now.
Jump in the Apple Podcast ratings and reviews and leave 5 stars. Don't make Pat mad. Make him happy. And if you are going to leave a 1, please wear a name tag. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, dudes.